Chinese FM Wang Yo has met NSA Ajit Doval. He is also scheduled to meet Prime Minister Modi. My colleague Shiv is also now joining us on the broadcast here. Shiv, what more details do we have about the meeting?
Actually, their second meeting in just the last few weeks. Remember, Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor, was in China a few weeks ago, clearing the decks for the very visit for which Wang Yo, the Foreign Minister of China, is in Delhi today. Just about a couple of hours to go before Wang Yo, the Foreign Minister of China, meets with Prime Minister Modi. All of this coming amidst what is being seen as some kind of a diplomatic defreeze between India and China. Prime Minister Modi's impending visit to Beijing later this month is being seen as a historic one. It's the first one since 2019, the first most definitely since the big standoff in Ladakh and Galwan that happened between the two armies. Amidst the entire turbulence that Donald Trump has triggered over tariffs that has sort of pinned India into some sort of a trade corner, India has signaled very, very strongly that it will continue to pursue its national interests, even if it means, attempting to normalize ties with a traditional adversary like China. In this particular case, India and China bilaterally have not made much headway since the standoff began in 2020. But with Wang Yo now meeting the National Security Advisor twice in the last few weeks, Wang Yo headed to meet the Prime Minister in the next couple of hours. Prime Minister Modi headed to China later this month, at the end of this month. All of this signals a big, big shift in India's China policy and, let's be frank, China's India policy. For those who may be thinking that this is India once again playing into China's hands, that is definitely not the case. India is well aware of China. China is well aware of India, having learnt many strategic lessons, especially after Galwan and the Ladakh standoff, which have locked both armies in position without much by way of any meaningful disengagement following 2023. But these meetings that we're seeing right now, between yesterday with Jaishankar, today with the National Security Advisor and the Prime Minister, is expected to signal a very, very big shift in India-China relations.
Also, before that meeting, we understand with the Prime Minister positive signaling coming in from the Chinese Foreign Minister also. He said that the setbacks of last few years are not in our interest. Ajit Doval was also reported saying that there has been an upward trend in India-China ties, and that's what both countries are looking forward to.
It is interesting that there is no doubt about the fact that China has been incentivized to normalize relations with India. So all of the handshakes and the smiles and the waves you see right now from Wang Yo in India should be seen in the context not of sort of diplomatic generosity or geniality, but the fact that it is in China's interest to try and normalize ties with India right now amidst a larger global shift, a hostile Donald Trump and things like that. But having said that, it is very important to contextualize the fact that amidst the handshakes, amidst the increasing proximity, one must always remember that China is a long-term player. India has learned to live with China. China has learned the hard way that it needs to live with an assertive India. And that's the reason why it is mutual interests, economic cooperation, finding alignments in certain aspects. But at the end of the day, India and China will always be competitors for international space. There is no getting away around that. And therefore, this meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Wang Yo, the Foreign Minister, and even when Prime Minister Modi meets with Xi Jinping later this month in China, it is going to be a mutual acknowledgement that both countries need to live with each other. They need to reduce their frictions. They need to find a way to manage their differences and make sure it doesn't lead to anything drastic like it did in 2020. So that's what this big signal is really about.
Absolutely.